Hello, this is Leanne from What's Cooking with the Johnstons coming at you for a little coffee date. I'm going to kind of move a little this way and show you I am drinking water today, this evening, and I'm really excited to be with you. The last time I did a coffee date, it was just typed. I didn't do a vlog because I was in France. And then last Friday, I took off completely and didn't really write about anything at all. So I'm really excited to be with you again this week because I've really enjoyed doing vlogs, and I feel like I have quite a bit to share with you today. So thank you for joining me. If we were having coffee today, I would definitely tell you about my trip to France. I would probably share pictures. I haven't shared that many on the blog or on Facebook yet, so I'm so excited to share some of that. I would tell you how excited I am that I shot in manual exclusively the entire trip, even though we did some really crazy lighting things, taking pictures of the Eiffel Tower lit up but at night, taking pictures of some stained glass and some old churches. And anyway, I'm super excited about all of the pictures that I took and super thankful for Better Mom Shots. I know I keep giving them shout outs, but there's no way I could have gotten the shots that I did without Monica and just that incredible class. So I definitely tell you about that. I'd also probably share a story. Each time I've talked about France, I've shared a different story. It was a wonderful trip. It was just incredible. The simplicity of our time at Taizé was awesome. Oh, hello there, Sophie. That's my cat, Sophie. She likes to hang out on the back of the couch right there. The simplicity of Taizé was just beautiful. We didn't even use utensils. We used one large spoon. That was our only utensil, even if it was breakfast and our meal was a big roll and a pat of butter, which I thought was going to be really hard for me because I'm simple, but I'm not very rustic. I'm not like a camping girl, but it actually was great. I didn't have internet access from like Sunday lunchtime all the way through the following Saturday lunchtime. And even then, it was just for like 15 minutes. I kind of sorted through my emails and then went back to being in France. It was wonderful. I got to build some relationships with some young people, and it was just a great trip. One story that I will share with you that I probably will not type out on the blog because it's just really better to be spoken is the funniest thing that happened to us in France, probably. It was very, very cold in Taizé, and Jared and I were hanging out in the bookstore because small groups hadn't started yet, and so we had a little bit of downtime. We were hanging out in the bookstore because it's air conditioned. It was heated, air conditioned, because it's 90 degrees now in Texas. But in France, we needed the heat. So we were in the bookstore kind of wandering around, and a group of young people from our team came running up to us and said, "Do you want to go to the place with wine and cheese?" And we were like, "Okay." That sounds normal because France has a lot of wine and cheese. But at Taizé, we were like in the country. There was nothing around. Jared and I thought, well, when in Rome, right? So this group of young people, some awesome folks, grabbed us and said, we're going to go for like a 2-mile walk, and then we're going to find this guy who makes his own wine and cheese. And we were like, cool, okay. So actually, Jared wasn't cool, okay. Jared was like, he had planned to go take a nap, and I had planned to go to small groups. So I was ditching my small group, but he was ditching a nap, which was like, can't miss my nap. But we decided to go anyway. So we walk, and it's gorgeous. There's like rolling hills and stone homes, and then we kind of get out of the village, and there's nothing but hills and animals. We see lots of dairy cows and lots of goats. And then we kind of walk up to this old farmhouse. Think like maybe rural Alabama or Arkansas. No offense to anyone from Alabama or Arkansas, probably rural Texas too, really. There's like some farm buildings, and there's this beautiful old farmhouse, this stone, but like rusted farm equipment over here. And It was a little scary. It also had just started to rain, and there were goats like running up to the fence to talk to us. It was crazy, like sticking their little heads through the fence. Anyway, so we're standing there, and at that moment, there were like I think 5 or 6 of us, and at that moment we realized not one of us spoke French, and we had heard rumor that the guy we were coming to visit did not speak any English. So we're like, super, this is great. We may have been lured here to be like shot or something. So anyway, we're kind of wandering around and we're like, bonjour, bonjour. And this older gentleman comes out of the house and walks down the steps and walks toward us, and he says, "Oh, oh!" Gets very excited, and he kind of walks us through this like cellar, down these steps. Like there's like fly paper up here on the wall, and it's dark. Like there's no lights, and we get to this. I may share pictures of this later. We get to this teeny tiny little room, like we barely all fit in it, and it has a display case, and behind him is some bottles of wine and cheese just like laid out, like cheese everywhere. And just like what you would think of, it's a soft cheese, and there was one that was like covered with mold and herbs and stuff. And he just starts cutting up cheese into little pieces and like passing it out. Um, I started to think maybe like Robert Irvine was going to come in and like shut down this restaurant because it was not so clean, but I tried not to think about that. So I did think about what a cool experience this was, and then he starts pouring wine, and I think, well, maybe the alcohol and the wine will just kill anything that is in the cheese that might hurt me, or anything that's like on his fingers or anything. So he hands out the wine, and we drink, and like it's just the coolest experience. So we ended up buying 2 bottles of wine and a little bit of cheese, which we never ate because it was a little bit. I wasn't totally on board with the cheese, but the wine was fantastic. Anyway, it was just a crazy experience, um, super fun. If we were having coffee or water right now, I would apologize. My child has been screaming in the background. I don't know if you can hear that. It is his bedtime, and he's having trouble going to sleep. It may be because I'm talking very loud. I don't know. Anyway, um, being gone from our boy was incredibly challenging for me and Jared. Uh, we got some text messages periodically, but it was about 5 cents to receive and 50 cents to send. And we didn't talk on the phone at all, except for one, like maybe 3 minute FaceTime conversation the whole time we were gone, the 12 days we were gone. It was very, very hard to be gone from him, but he did a great job. Everyone had a wonderful time with him, and he's just a super fun kid. We had to kind of get him back on our routine and not give him everything he wants. Not that that's what our family did, but that's what his expectations were when we came back, and he just expected us to do whatever he wanted, and we don't have to do that. So we had a few fits, but now we're back on our normal routine, going to school and going to work every day, and it is back to life as usual. I would probably, although like France and that trip has kind of been my whole world for the past 2 or 3 weeks, I would probably tell you that we're starting to do things with our home. We bought a new rug that I'm going to share probably later this month for our living room. This huge, like 8 by 11 rug. I'm so excited. We bought some new furniture. I have a dresser that I bought that I'm going to use as a nightstand. It's kind of a low, unfinished dresser that I plan to paint. I think I'm going to paint it turquoise, which I'm super excited about. Anyway, I've rambled on for almost 10 minutes now. If we were having coffee, I would love for you to share what you have been up to. Have you ever left your children or your spouse or your animals for any length of time? And if so, how was that? Have you ever traveled to Europe? What was that like? Have you ever had wine and cheese from a strange French man in a cellar? Because you should if you ever get the opportunity. Anyway, I hope that you have a fantastic weekend and a wonderful rest of your Friday. And I will hopefully see you next Friday. Bye-bye.